Welcome to another episode of Indigenous Survival. I'm your host, Jeff Gibson. The other day, I got a couple of things I ordered on a company called Temu. It's not a bad little company, but the way I hear, I'm saying a pitch for Temu or anything like that, but from what I hear, they're getting as large as Walmart. It's all online, very reasonably priced stuff, and they got about everything that you could think of, from shirts to shorts to God knows what. Actually, I have never looked at the whole entire thing, but I did see a couple things that kind of took my caught my fancy, if you want to call it that. So I thought I'd order a couple of them just to play with, see what they're like. One is, I've already opened this up. It's a little fish trap. They have them in different designs, different styles. Personally, I went with the cheapest. I like making my own traps myself out of like a fish weir. If you guys knows what those are, excuse me, a little hay fever today. But if you know what those weir is, I prefer doing those myself. But I saw these were only $2, something like that. They're collapsible. So yes, I ordered 2 of them just for the hell of it. Like I said, they got different designs. I just went with the cheapest. It has a little bait bag, which, like I said, I've already opened this up, as you can tell. The only thing with this bait bag is they sealed it shut right here. So I have to take, before I can use it, I take a little X-Acto or my pocket knife and open this up. So I drop the bait in there. According to the thing, it says it's good for crawfish, stuff like that. There's your little, now don't get me wrong, the zipper ain't the greatest, but so you can get your catch out without destroying the bag. It's already popped loose a little bit, but I'll be honest with you, $2, it ain't too bad. It has a little halfway kind of a string on the outside of it, if I can find it again. There it is. You can lower it down, obviously, to either use a Y stick or some low-lying branch, put it in there. And I'll tell you what, it's not going to catch a bass, okay? It's not going to catch your catfish. I'm not even looking for it to do that. Crawfish, yeah, perhaps. I'm looking at it as, honestly, it's going to catch bait fish for me. Small minnows that I can use to catch larger fish. Now, obviously, as I keep saying in all my videos last year, don't do this stuff for play, okay? Trapping and stuff, it should only be done in emergency cases. Now, I used to own alligators. I still technically do. They're just not at home. Didn't get my license because I'm too close to the downtown of my city. But I used to come out and catch crawfish to feed them. And I take out of these little creeks, 20, 30 crawfish. So they're plentiful. But do I think it'll catch crawfish? Yeah, I believe it will. It's got 2 nice little openings. Put some little bait. Now, I don't think I'd put the bait up in here. I think I'd just lay some little bit of meat, like jerky. Which, by the way, in case you guys don't know, crawfish will hit on jerky. So if you want to throw a little jerky down in the bottom and lay it in there in the morning, come back in the evening, you're liable to have some crawfish. Like I said, minnows, stuff like that you could use as bait fish to catch bass, stuff like that. You might catch crappie. I mean, this is kind of a small opening. Now, obviously, if you're really using the stuff, you would more likely use it for, if you caught, I mean, I know I would, even if all I caught was some little small 3-inch long minnows or stuff like that. Yeah, if I'm really using it because I'm starving, you know what? Yeah, I'd fry them. But that trapping and stuff like that, to me, should only be used in those emergencies. Okay, it's not something you want to play around and do. You can't, I mean, it's really, now unless you're making a live box trap, you want to catch a squirrel just to see if it works, release the squirrel, you know. But I thought I'd show you this one. I got another one I'm gonna show you. But you know, $2. It folds up like that. You know, it's supposed to have little strings right there. Personally, I'd use a hair tie or two, or a big rubber band, and put across it like that to keep it after you tucked everything in. It takes up very little space. If it can get me bait to maybe catch bigger fish or crawfish that I can throw in a pot, you know, little freshwater lobster there, why not? Takes up, now if this was real heavy, I'd say screw it. They do have some bigger ones that's big around, has like 8 chambers. You know, nah, I wouldn't do that because of the fact that, where am I going to carry it? But this, yeah, I'm looking, like I said, crawfish or bait fish, or, you know, in the words of my one of my favorite people, Les Stroud, goes, what's bait in the morning could be your dinner at night. So, yeah, it's worth it. For $2, it's worth it. Okay, the next thing I ordered, sorry, I did kind of take it out of the package already, but it's called an emergency shelter by a company called Outdoor Essentials. Now I'm going to let you know straight out the bat, this was like another $2. Yes, I always order double for this videos. One, that I can demonstrate for you guys, and 2, if I do like it, I keep the other one in my pack. So anyway, I'm going to tell you right now, this is what it looks like. It's real simple. Okay, it's what it's supposed to look like in the pack, out of the package. And I'll read what it says on it to you. One, it says don't get near flames. It's not fireproof. But it says it's a massive 8x5 tent, comes with 20 foot of cord, and it does. I'll be honest with you, this is not the most heaviest of cord. Okay, paracord would be much better. But since this is what it came with, let's see what it's like. Like I said, it's really thin. Tangle's kind of easy. I'll have to undo that here in a second. But let's look at this. Okay, what it feels like, I'll be honest with you, it feels like, you know, the really cheap emergency survival blankets, that's how it feels. Now, the reason I ordered it, one, is to show you guys, and number 2, yeah, as an emergency shelter, if I had that in my pack, providing I had nothing else, and I had to get out, because it feels really flimsy. Yeah, for a really quick one-night shelter, I'll be honest with you, yeah, it'll work. If I can already tell you it'll work because I feel it.
That's tied together.
Huh?
That's tied together to stay like that.
So okay, never mind. They tied together 2 10-foot sections. Okay, lovely. I'm just sitting here trying to do this as I talk to you guys. Because it was like that in the package. Okay, so they tied together 2 sections. Okay, and it's, well, flexible, I guess, if that's the word you want to use. Personally, yeah, as for what it says, emergency shelter, it is worth it. I see my beaver's coming back. He's checking out the squirrel eating nuts next to me. We're starting to get beavers back in the park now, folks. So if you see these, if you know where I'm at and you see these, please leave them alone. Maybe bring them some nuts like I do and stuff, but don't run them off. Don't let your dogs chase them. Okay, if I can get my wife to focus back in over here. Sorry everybody, I'm back. As you seen the beaver there, like I was saying, we're starting to see beavers back in the parks now. I took a second to go give it some nuts. So, but if you see them, try not to bother them. You know, don't let your dogs chase them. There used to be a lot of beavers in these areas back in the old days. And I am glad to see him. That was a fairly young one. You can tell by the size of his tail. He's a fairly young beaver. I guess he realized, seen the squirrel eating and not scared, so take a chance to come back. Still didn't come up to me, but okay. Give him a little while and he will. But anyway, back to this. Now, it does say emergency shelter. I will give it that. As an emergency shelter, one night, if this is all you had, and if you're caught out in the rain or something, honestly, it would be better than nothing. And the way it looked, and the way it is, it's just a simple, this is your ridgepole. Okay? That's all this is. This is your ridgepole. You just tie it to a tree, which is why I selected right here. I'm going to tie it there and there, But as a temporary one-night shelter, it's fine. I can already tell you that. I wouldn't risk it as far as, oh, I'm going to set this up. Oh, no, what you could do if you really wanted to make a better stretch. Huh? Oh, okay. He's coming back down. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just checking out the beaver again. He's coming back down. He's checking out where I put those nuts. But maybe in a minute I'll have my wife swing the camera back around to him again. But anyway, now if you wanted to add to this, if you want to start with this as a base and then build off of it with like some light branches, I wouldn't go heavy because this thing is not heavy. It wouldn't take much to rip it. And he actually is going to the nuts. He's searching them down that I left for him. Yep, that's what he's doing. Anyway, so if my wife wants to get a little zoom in, I think he's starting to, yeah, he's gonna sit there and eat them. Yep, he's sitting there eating the nuts I gave him. And I got a little squirrel going to come in to challenge him, I guess. But this is what, I think I did a video late last year about this. If you could bring bird seed or nuts to the park with you, it doesn't really cost a lot. I know where my wife works at Kroger's, they clearance a lot of that stuff all the time. Even the suet blocks are good for the animals. It would be very good to do. It helps the wildlife, especially during the winter. And trust me, when I'm out here with my grandson and he's watching me feed squirrels and stuff, he gets a kick out of it. Just don't let your dogs chase them. And I love dogs. I got dogs. I've got some hunting dogs. Yeah. As you can tell, animals trust me. And I'll get you some nuts in a minute. But anyway, so just remember when you're out here, like I said, Kroger's usually clearances a lot of stuff. You know what? It doesn't hurt to pick up some peanuts. And I don't care what anybody says when they say, oh, if you're going to do that, only give squirrels unsalted nuts. Only give squirrels unsalted nuts. Can I be honest with you? Ask any deer hunter. They put out salt blocks. Why? The animals need that salt too. So get lightly salted. It's fine for them. Trust me, I've been doing this stuff for years. So anyway, you can always add to this thing after you have it up. Take some really light branches, go over top of it. It'll reinforce it. So let's see what this looks like. Okay. Okay, guys. I got and I'll be honest with you, I'm not that damn impressed with it, but it's really flimsy. The cord stretches. I don't care how tight you tighten it. I have tightened it. I know people might watch this and say, he just don't have that cord stretched tight enough. Well, actually, I got it pretty well secured. Okay. I do have my backpack, and also I took my my bottle of Faygo. Don't laugh at me. I happen to like Faygo grape. But anyway, be honest with you, the cord's a little bit too damn stretchy. It'd probably be a lot better with a piece of paracord. I wouldn't not go a branch unless you want to take the bark off of it. You know, now if you wanted to use it as a, if you wanted to take a couple of Y sticks, I'll be honest with you, and carve the bark off of a ridgepole, a little more solid. But see, it has these little funky, I guess it's supposed to be weighted
For the bottom.
pieces of tape for the bottom. There's one on this side and one on that side. They are not the greatest. However, yeah, I'll be honest with you, I wanted to show you how it is just out of the package, just like that. I mean, my personal thing would be, I would actually cut me 2 Y sticks, put in the ground far enough apart to where they're not touching this, because this is flimsy and you can actually see through it. Okay? So I wouldn't put this up against the wood. And I would clean the bark off of a ridge pole, another pole I could use as a ridge pole, slide it through. But as a quickie, it's pouring down rain, I need to get out of the weather type of shelter, it would work. It would. Then again, so would a tarp. But this does take up a lot less room than a tarp. And I don't endorse a lot of things. I'm not endorsing this because I'll be honest with you, to me, you're only going to get a few uses out of this. Okay? My money is still on the is buying a canvas tarp. You can buy them at a lot of places. Cheapest place I ever found them is Rural Harbor Freight. You can get a 10-foot by 10-foot heavy canvas tarp for, I think it's around $8 to $10. Now that, and if you go to Walmart and you buy the can of heavy duty silicone waterproofing for shoes, you put it outside because they do stink. That stuff does smell badly. Because I put 3 coats of that stuff on my boots and I can stand in the creek and my feet are dry. My legs get wet, but my feet don't. My socks don't either. I mean, unless as it comes up here and it gets, but that's a different story. But anyway, if you spray the canvas down with it, a couple good coats, it rolls up, it fits underneath your backpack. That's the way I go. You know, that's the way I go with it. But they are a little, on the downside, it is a little heavy. It is a little more inconvenient. But that's the way I prefer. With a little bit of paracord, I'm fine. I got a nice overhead shelter. But if you're looking to save weight and stuff like that, you don't want to carry a heavy, because canvas is heavy. I know a lot of people say get the polypropylene tarps. Go ahead if you want. I love canvas. I love something that takes abuse. Those other ones I put up, you know, every winter to block the wind coming in on my porch. I get a good winter out of it, and you know, maybe a little past that, but they do wear out. I like canvas. That's just me, and you know, but for space savings, these are cheap. You can throw them in practically any type of bag you got. And if you're jogging and you got a little light backpack on, you know what? Excellent. Excellent for that. One night shelter out of the rain. Yeah, it's worth a few bucks for that. It's cheap. Like I said, it's cheap. Yes, it is cheaply made. It's no more than
Blanket.
the emergency space blankets that you can buy at Walmart for like 99 cents or whatever. And I'll be honest with you, it's really no more than that, except it's got a floor. So if you want something with a little bit of with a floor on it, get it. And you do have the ridge pole, or the ridge line. So Unlike well, why not just use a emergency blanket? If you say it's about the same. Yeah, but remember, there's nowhere to tie it to. This, it took me I will be honest with you, I had my wife help me for a moment just to unwrap it. But it only took about 3 minutes to set it up. Yeah, it works. I wouldn't push it more than that. I'll tell you what it is useful for. If you do have a tent, you can use it to store if you made it as a solid ridge pole and stuff like that, or even with the spare cord. You know, if you're doing a long-term, kind of like a week or two camping or whatever, hey, when I go camping, I'm gonna take this with us. I'm not gonna sleep in it. My wife won't sleep in it. I got a nice tent. But I can use it to keep my firewood and my charcoal dry, and set my coolers in it to keep them shielded from the sun. So, yeah, it has a secondary purpose. But for what it originally says, yeah, $2, it's kind of worth it. So, until my next video, remember to like and subscribe, tell all your friends about it, and I'll see you in the next video.